What's up, my friends? My name's iirix. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a card I was not super excited for, but then I started thinking about EDH decks, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I don't think I get to see play many other places. Today's card, Decimator of Provinces. For 10 mana, you get a 7/7 Eldrazi Boar with Emerge. You can cast him for 6 triple green, and the Emerge, of course, sacrifice creature, make it that much cheaper. At the cheapest, it's a triple green, which is more than fair for this guy. When you cast Decimator of Provinces, creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn, and he himself has trample and haste. One of the things I want to point out is that it is big, it's scary, it's surprising, it's got mini overrun on it. I like it a lot. But that's expensive. 10 mana for a 7/7. I could see it happening, and more often than not, you're going to emerge. Probably 9 times out of 10 you'll want to emerge it, because that'll make it cheaper. Even if you emerge something that costs 3, you're now casting for 6 mana a 7/7 triple haste that gives mini overrun. That's great. And I shouldn't say mini overrun because that feels more like a 1/1. 2/2, we'll say medium overrun, I guess. Sure, we'll go with that. I like him mostly because of the... my first thought was token decks in EDH, and things like my L deck, which is focused on big creatures and overrun effects. I know not everybody builds theirs like that, and mine's not very good to begin with. But the token decks, the green token decks in EDH, I like it a lot. It's just a surprise. Unfortunately, if you sacrifice a token, it really doesn't help much on the Emerge. It does 1. Woo! Because tokens have no converted mana cost, for those of you who are not aware of that. They don't have a converted mana cost, so you can still do the Emerge for 6 and triple green, and it reduces it by 1 converted cost, but, it's... Yeah. I'm sure you'll have something in play you can sacrifice that's not a token, but the overrun ability is really cool, and you get a 7/7 body with it. On top of, then, a medium overrun ability. It's really cool. I like him a lot. He's pretty simple, too. I'm just going to jump right into the numbers. Since it's pretty straightforward on draft, I'm going to say it's a 4, because this guy, I've played against him in draft, and it is just, if they drop it, there's really not a whole lot you can do. At least, there wasn't a lot I can do when I played against it. People would drop this guy, and I just have to go, well, shit, sure, alright, yeah, and then they swing for like 40. It's a game of draft here, guys. You're not going to gain a whole lot of life, if any. And so I believe I had like 8, and he's swinging for 40 or maybe even 50 damage. Just ridiculous. Just like, read the writing on the wall, guys. Come on. Bam! There it is. Deal with it. Standard or 3.5. I don't think he'll be played too often. Definitely not a 4 or a 3 of. I could see 1 or maybe 2 in Eldrazi decks, but we're not seeing a whole lot of the dedicated green big creature kind of thing we're seeing as far as Eldrazi. There's Temur Emerge, but they're not looking at this guy. They're looking at Elder Deep Fiend for their top end. And then there's been talk of a... there was one in the Pro Tour I'm thinking of before it popped up in the Portland Pro Tour, or the Grand Prix, but the Jund Emerge, and that's kind of a thing... Or no, that was Jund Delirium. Okay, so yeah, the Jund Emerge I've heard talk about, and I could see that in there, but I don't think this is going to make a huge impact. When it does, though, it damage out the ass with this guy is just so surprising, and there's not a whole lot you can do about him, because even if you can kill him, it's not like that removes the buff on their team. I mean, it's a cast trigger, so you just got to kind of accept it. If you can't counter it, and its ability, that's it. Just deal with it, Modern or 2, I think it's too big and expensive, even with the Emerge. And people, as far as I know, in Modern aren't typically looking for a +2/+2 in Trample, a +3/+3 in Trample kind of thing. So, I just completely write him off of Modern. I don't want to say he's a 1, because that's reserved for dedicated just for terrible cards. Cards that 1 with nothing. Black, discard your hand. That's it. That gets a 1. So I'm not going to say this guy gets a 1, even though I really don't think anybody's ever going to play him in Modern. EDH at 3.5, because he fits the theme of EDH, the big and powerful and scary spells. So that's That's really all I got to say. He just fits the theme of EDH. And, I mean, seriously, how often are you going to be upset to get +2/+2 and trample to your team? That's what I have to say about Decimator of Provinces. You have a different opinion? I'd like to hear down below. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all next time.